I get this question all the time. How did I end up racing cars while I was a member of the exchange on the floor? And what happened was I just always had a love for automobiles. And when I started making money, I said, well, you know what? I'm going to get involved in a small race car team. I got in some of the lower class formula cars, and turns out I was pretty good, but not real good. I didn't have the fast twitch fiber that a lot of the other guys didn't. But I started going to the driving schools. I met a lot of the top drivers in the world, and I started working on getting going faster and faster. And I started doing pretty well. I'm in a lower class formula car at the time, which I helped sponsor. And then, of course, with this gift of gab of mine, I had all kinds of sponsors. I had Escort Radar. I had Goodyear tires. I had all kinds of people that were my sponsor. And so they were paying for most of my driving, which really got expensive in a hurry. And I'm running down the back of Elkhart Lake, and I'm not going fast, maybe 180. And the front left tire explodes, and there had been some debris on the road. Obviously, one of the tires picked it up, and the car starts sliding sideways. And I look down, and I'm thinking, I hope this disc brake doesn't sink into the asphalt because I'm going to flip. But it did. It slid right into the firewall and stopped. And I broke my right leg, and that was it. I was pretty good shape. It rolled across the pea gravel and slowed up enough to where the impact wasn't too bad. So I pulled the steering wheel out. There's a ring you pop, throw the steering wheel out, then you push the center ring and you pound it, drops off all 5 seat belts, 2 springs for my Chang, which holds your helmet on, pop that off. And then I pull the round ring, slam that down, fills the cockpit up with a halon gas so you don't burn, because on each side of you is gas, and they're in a rubberized tank, and it is not a pleasant thing to turn into a fried French fries. So I got everything ready. I pop up out, I drag my leg out, and I figure if it's going to blow, the flame's going to run down that firewall. So if I can get on the other side of the firewall, I'll be okay. So I crawl out of the car. Gentleman from the crowd reaches over, grabs me, helps pull me over the wall, sets me down. I said, put my back flat to this. I said, the ambulance will be here soon, I'm sure. He said, okay, great. So he's talking to me, and he says, listen, it's pretty obvious to me that your racing time is over. And so I'm starting to get a little pissed off, and he's like looking at me very sincerely. And I said, and he says, well, listen, I'm making a movie and I need guys to crash cars, and you look like you're pretty good at it. And I'm like, well, I guess I am. I did this one pretty well. He said, yeah. He goes, listen, here's my card. And turns out it's Bobby Bass, one of the lead stuntmen in the world, working for Paramount, making a film called Blues Brothers. They wrecked dozens and dozens and dozens of cars every day. And he wanted professional drivers, and he couldn't get enough of them. So he says, when you get that leg put in plaster, your doctor says you can run into things. He says, come on over. He says, I can use you for as long as you want to work. And I said, hey, I'm on the trading floor. I'll hang up my coat at 1:15. I'll head over. I said, anything you got to shoot, afternoon, evenings? I said, I'll be there. I'll wreck all the cars you want. And that's how I ended up becoming a stuntman over at Paramount Pictures Studio. And where it was my first movie was by driving into a wall by Bobby Bass. And it was 20 years. It was a good career. And I ended up going from general stunts into my skills in weapons and explosives and safety. And I was a safety coordinator as well. So for 20 years, all I had to do was drive into a wall, and I broke into show business. That's how I ended up racing.